Welcome to episode 9 of the Unstoppable Podcast. My name is Astin-Gregory and I am committed to hunting down the secrets of business mastery and human performance. My goal for the Unstoppable Podcast is to share insights from some of the most successful entrepreneurs, inspiring thought leaders, world-class athletes, and prominent celebrities to help you to become unstoppable in business and life. Each week I'll be bringing you a new interview with an inspiring person and sharing my own results as I pursue the answers to the question, how can I create the ultimate edge in my business, make a significant impact, and live an extraordinary life? To kick off the Unstoppable Podcast, I've put together a very special 10-part series designed to help you to achieve your most adventurous goals this year. Each episode within this series will contain specific lessons to help you become unstoppable in business and life. And the first 5 episodes are available for download right now on iTunes and Stitcher. So please make sure you subscribe to the show to get the full 10-part series. Welcome to episode 9 of the Unstoppable Podcast. In the previous episode, we spoke about forging your ultimate self and designing your identity by deciding on who you're going to become in order to achieve your ultimate outcomes. In today's episode, we're going to be exploring the concept of life purpose. Now, this is something that I often describe as a bit of a woolly subject because it's so broad, it's so landscape, it's such a big area. But have you ever asked yourself, why am I here? What is my life's purpose? What do I want to do with my life? We all want to feel like we matter, but I think perhaps the real question is, what can I do with my time that is important or feels important to me? And as you know, when I left my corporate job behind, I went through a period of kind of soul searching and discovery, this journey of discovery once I left, because I had an idea of where I wanted to go, at least I thought I did, but I ended up dabbling for some time and I was quite distracted and I didn't find my mojo, I didn't find my one thing, at least initially. But what I discovered on my journey was there's a difference between this concept of a discovered purpose, the idea that we are born for something higher and that it's this cosmic mission to find it amongst all the unique and infinite possibilities and that it will find us, versus being able to define our purpose and this self-defined purpose. And this distinction really helped me come up with some really clear ideas about what my life was going to be about. Part of that journey of discovery, I realized that there's a difference between what you do and why you do it. You see, when people think of purpose, they often think about what they do, as in what your ultimate path is, your ultimate calling and things like this. And they usually relate it to their business or their careers or their pursuits. When actually, when you think about your purpose, what does purpose really mean? It's the why of the matter. In fact, when you look up the word purpose in the Oxford Dictionary, the definition is the reason for which something is done or for which something exists. Our purpose isn't what we do, it's why we do it. And our why is the meaning we give to what we do. So therefore, our purpose is very much our why. And it's our why that inspires us to do what we do. It's our driving force. It's all the things that are important to us about what we do. It's not what we do, it's why we do it. And the reason I struggled is because I was pursuing the wrong questions. I was looking for the what before the why. Looking at all the different avenues, all these different business models, these different types of ways of earning an income. But as soon as I figured out what drives me, what I'm passionate about, and what excites me, then it became much easier to identify how I wanted to spend my time and then answer the question, what can I do with my time that is important? There's great power in knowing your why. It's your why that drives you. It gives you the power to push beyond your struggles. I've shared a lot of the struggles that I've faced so far along this podcast series, and it's about finding that determination to keep going no matter what. Your why gives you that. It makes you come fully alive and live each day with a zest for life. So our purpose, therefore, becomes a state of being. When we know the reasons why we're doing something, that's when we're fully alive, we're focused, and we're compelled to do what we do. I often say, when you know what your why is, what you're doing is you'll do it for free. It's something you'd wake up and you would do it needlessly without want. Your why shifts and emerges over time. It's not a static thing. It's not this beam that comes from the universe and says, this is why you're on the planet and this is what you were born to do. The why will shift and emerge over time, and you can learn to enjoy the unfolding of that, because as we change, so do the reasons why we do things. I think about when I was a teenager, all I cared about was going out partying and having a good time. And then as I became an adult, the partying was still important. But then over time, my priorities changed. And of course, as I go to the next stage of my life and start a family, of course, some of the reasons are going to shift again. So don't worry about trying to find this ultimate purpose. It's about understanding what you're doing and why you do it. But the problem for many, like I discovered myself, is when you cannot find big enough reasons to do what you do, and often actually as we change, some of the things we do, we outgrow. I was talking about the corporate position. I no longer could find the why in what I did. It didn't compel me anymore. At one point in my life, it did. It served me and it gave me what I needed. But then I outgrew it. I found something beyond that I want to achieve. So my why changed because I changed. But as I was saying, for many people, it's very difficult to find these big reasons. And you find yourself asking these big questions and trying to figure out what it is you're put here to do and what you're all about. And you experience this pull to do something different. But it takes something bold to be able to act on that pull. You can feel a force within you that knows there's something more, but you can't quite figure it out. And it's my desire for you to act upon that pull, that force upon you. It's your why trying to find its way to the surface. So if you want to experience life fully, I encourage you to go in pursuit of your why. And what I've got is I've got 3 very simple questions that will help you to clarify your purpose and deepen your why. Even if you feel like you're already clear on what your why is, this will give you the opportunity to deepen it to another level. So the first question is, what makes you come alive? What makes you connect with your passion? What makes you most happy? Where are you and what are you doing when you're most happy? What are you passionate about? Finding out what makes you come alive is the first step. This is all the interests, all the things that you do, all the things that you read about, all the things that you study. What do you spend your time doing that really makes you step into that zone of flow? What really excites you? The second thing is then finding out what your innate strengths are. What do you do when you're at your absolute best? What's your zone of genius? What do you specialize in? What's the skill set that you have that makes you great? Because there's a theory that when we're in our element, when we're in flow, it's at the point where our natural talent and our skill meets our personal passion. When people are in their element, they're not only more productive, but they add more value and they're more fulfilled. So find out what your innate strengths are. Take some time to profile yourself and understand where your core strengths lie. And then the third and final step is, where can I add the greatest value? This is about considering who do you want to serve, where do you want to be able to make a difference, and how can you help? These 3 questions combined, when you look at them together, finding your greatest strengths, knowing where you can add the most value, understanding your passions, and by applying those skills and those strengths, you can find your path, give you the focus on where you need to focus your attention. And that's where you're most likely to succeed and therefore get the greatest sense of fulfillment and contribution. When you can answer these 3 questions, you're able to find your why. Because it's tapping into the deepest sense of self. It's what makes you fully come alive. Being able to answer these questions myself has enabled me to live with more clarity, more certainty, and more confidence. And I would encourage you to take the time to figure out the answers to these questions. I'd love to hear what makes you come alive and how you found your why. I wanted to keep this episode simple because it's such a big subject and people often make it a much bigger deal than it needs to be. And that big landscape thinking, that open, infinite possibilities make it very difficult to think and filter down. So I wanted to make it simple, give you those 3 questions to help you identify your why. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Come and join us. I've just set up the Unstoppable Mastermind. It's a private Facebook group for the Unstoppable community, and I'll be sharing even more content to help you become unstoppable in business and life. So come over, introduce yourself, join in the conversation, share your why. You can find the group on Facebook under the Unstoppable Mastermind, or you can go to the web link unstoppablepodcast.com/tribe. Remember to subscribe on iTunes to make sure you receive the full 10-part series. We're 1 step away from our final episode. And while you're there, I'll be hugely grateful if you'd please take the time to leave a 5-star review to help me spread the word and get the message out there. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking about morning routine and how you can power up your day by following a clear set of rituals first thing in the morning. Really excited to share the content with you. Until next time, remember, you are unstoppable. I look forward to sharing the final part of this 10-part series with you. Thanks for listening.